moving along in segments with our folks from Hall of Fame Bets. We're going to show you guys a couple bets. We're really just going to lab for you guys and show you guys how we're using that with our site Handigraphs as well. But Hall of Fame Bets, which is such a deep research tool for us, use code DADS, DADS. You get 50% off the first month. They have so much stuff, and they have football stuff, and they have WNBA stuff,
soccer.
We just soccer. Yeah, we're really deep. We're really in the weeds on their app for baseball right now because that's just our focus. But CJ, you want to kind of take it away and get your screen up?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I think Spencer, you got the little coming in with the infinity complex there, the Inception complex, whenever you click the one tab there. All right, so we're in Hall of Fame Bets. So, Adam, I know there was a game today that stuck out to you. I think these are two bets that we've already made, but we would kind of, give you a little bit of a look behind the curtain and how we started to kind of handicap this. So, this one in particular, why don't you talk a little bit about the Reds-Nats game coming up today and what you found here?
I always hang, it's no secret. Whenever I'm on Hall of Fame Bets, I just hang out in the leader tab. But all my friends who use it are like, dude, there's so much more research in this end. I went to the Reds game, and what I noticed was I went to pitching. Go to home.
You want to go to the game?
Yeah.
Go to the game.
You don't need to go to my old hangout. Go to my new hangout. All right. So
to
pitching
the
ratings.
Yes.
Pitching ratings. Okay. Pitching ratings last 5. If you scroll down, you're going to see that Brady Singer has green. Like the green is good. So you're going to see that Jake Irvin has had some green metrics. Singer has some green metrics and some are yellow. But here's where I care about this. If you go to the last 10, so the last 10 is showing me that Singer previously had way more green and things were doing better on terms of all of his metrics, just from hits given up, everything. Jake Irvin was worse. And then if you go to 5 again, he has gotten better. And this is something that's really important because we're talking about recency of form. And so I see this and I'm like, okay. So I have 2 pitchers, one of them who seems to be gaining form. Let me kind of look into a little bit deeper of it. So way that you do that, you can go to Handigraphs. And if you go to Handigraphs, you have the last 3 weeks up. Take a look on batters and starters. Last three weeks. Starters. Sorry.
Oh, starters. Yep.
Yeah. Starters. Go to last 3. Last 3 starts. Go to Singer. And you will see his expected ERA has been 2.75 on there. His ERA is 4.4. You go to his last 5. Let's go back that way. Yeah. So here's what's happening is, and his stuff is actually like, if you scroll the other side, you'll see it. But like his first pitch percentage, his stuff is kind of is moving in the wrong direction. But the bigger one was kind of for me. Yeah, there you go. It's like dark blue. It's his last 5, his ground ball rates are going down. Like his line drive rates are going up. His BABIP is gone from 373 in his last 5 to 400 in his last 3, which means things are getting worse. Go to Irvin though, and this is like really, really great play that you can find value. Irvin on his last 5, it's a good one to kind of look at is that. Let me just do this. Whoops, I have it on mine and I'm just doing it with you. So he should be like, he's like all blue, right? And if you go to his BABIP and his last 5, it's 274, and his last 3, it's an elite 213. That is very, very good. So he's keeping his team in games and he's doing a lot better. All right. So now you're probably thinking, great, you've just showed me 2 mid starters. What do I care about this? Go to bullpen. And if you go to bullpen, the last 3 weeks, you can look at Cincy, who have, let's see, the last 3 weeks, Cincy is that. And then let me see. Yeah. So if you go to Cincy's in the last 3 weeks, their bullpen has been getting a pretty solid K rate, but they've been just like walking guys. Their walk rate is way up. It's at 11%. And that's something you just don't want in your bullpen. If you go to the bullpen rating though, for Washington in its last 3 weeks, they have an elite level on their bullpen. It's down to 7%. That's something that I really, really care about when it comes to this. So I used this to finally decide that I'm going to bet the Nats today. I think that there's a ton of value on the Nats. I think they have a starter edge, as we've seen in form. I think their bullpen is in better position. And this is a little bit of gut stuff, and the lines are probably going to repopulate once some things go through, but we got them at like 115. This is a little bit gut, and you can find this in other places, but James Wood is not a bad baseball player and has been in a little bit of a slump, and he's kind of due to bust out. And looking at the form of Brady Singer, I think it's going to be against Brady Singer. So give me the Nats money line, using a little bit of Hall of Fame bets with it for finding some form, and then using a little bit of handy grass to get really deep in the weeds on this stuff is how I landed there.
Yeah, I think it's cool what you just talked about. Also looking at we have said this before, but you, for example, are really looking at, like, when you went to the bullpen, you're looking at walk rate as that main sort of indicator for you. Like, all right, what do I
because they're
want to
not letting guys on base. Yeah,
is guys right. So, like, if you're somebody that's conditioned to look at some other metrics, like, again, if you even go back to like starters, and when we were looking over at Singer, you're going to look at that expected ERA and and FIP and XFIP, K minus BB. You may go, all right, well, in the last 3 walk rate, he's been completely fine. But your kind of main point with that is that's all great in terms of just the swing and stuff metrics. But if you look at the batted ball metrics, look, guys are just seeming to hit him a little bit better.
and hard,
especially
and
when
hard.
it comes from the BABIPs. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's just important to always remember, it's like, look, whatever metrics works for you and your cap, use it. But just because if you're seeing a bunch of red and you're seeing a low, ERA, doesn't necessarily mean that there's not other stuff that you should be looking at and see if that's also kind of correlated with, like, the batted ball stuff that you're bringing up there. And I think Hall of Fame bets, that's what's awesome here, is that you've got the last 10, last 5, and you just get such a quick glance at that pitcher rating and batter form that you can use. So one I wanted to also walk through was not a main line that you had played here, but there was a batter prop I texted you about this morning that I really liked,
and
I actually did this the opposite way. So we're going to start actually in handy graphs, and then we'll come over and finish in Hall of Fame bets. But what I like to do is I like to kind of every morning check to see which pitchers and which batters are really good and really bad against specific candidates. So I actually have a saved filter here that I can go into, and you click.
Wait, sure, is that left-handed pitcher dongs?
Yeah, dong prone versus handedness. That's actually the one I want to use here. So I click this. What that filter is really just telling me is, do they have a hard hit rate greater than 35%, barrel rate than 7, high fly ball rate, and their average EV is greater than 90. So you're looking at this on the season against right-handed batters. And the one that kind of stuck out to me weirdly was, even though he's only had like 18 total batters faced, has been Brandon Woodruff. Because when I went into the batters tab, I do the same thing. So Woodruff, right-handed pitcher. So we're going to go elite versus handedness. And what I found was, hey, okay, Polanco, excellent. Like, very, very good against right-handed pitching all season. So then I kind of flip this around and I go last 30, fantastic numbers against right-handed pitching. 654 slugging, 385 ISO, 14.3% barrel. I also know that he's playing at T-Mobile today. So, we know that is generally not a great park for hitters, and for Polanco last year, it was definitely not
terrible.
But this year,
as noted by Eno Saris multiple times, it was not a good place for him.
But this year, he seems to have adjusted to the sunlight. I know, like, they have that whole kind of like shade effect for where the sun is in terms of how that gets in batters' eyes. Clearly, he's adjusted, because he's got a 139 WRC plus at home and a 266 ISO with the 356 WOBA. So I'm looking at these and going, all right, well, he's up against a righty. He's been hitting righties extremely well in the last 30. He hits extremely well at home. And we've got a starter in Woodruff that, hey, his general sort of ERA numbers are pretty good. His expected ERA is decent. but hasn't had a lot of innings and his batted ball metrics so far against right-handed batters really bad. So then that brings me into, I want to kind of look at this trends tab. I tend to hang out here more than you do on Hall of Fame bets because I just really like the fact that it kind of shows you an edge.
I'll use it for parlay building on NHL a lot. I'm in there a lot for that.
Yeah. I mean, the edge stuff, like you have to be careful with because it is just looking at hit rates. So, keep that in mind. But the next thing I'm kind of looking is, all right, well, I just went and really liked Polanco today. Well, then based on his hit rate, is he showing up on this list? Am I seeing an edge based on this list? And the answer is absolutely yes. Like he's right there. You can see him. Actually, a couple of Mariners today popped up in terms of all this is telling you is the line priced. I'll go back to last 10 here, but is the line that is the implied probability. What is the difference in that probability versus their recent form and hit rate? And you can see that Polanco has a 28% edge that would have been on ESPN bet at plus 210. Unfortunately, my ESPN bet is totally cooked. So I am taking this on FanDuel, but I still have a pretty good edge there. And then, you can obviously go and see like the batter versus pitcher matchup. I also love this one too. Like, all right, only 14 plate appearances, but the guys in Milwaukee's bullpen, he has hit very, very well. You can see obviously the right-handed pitching,
which is, by the way, another like really good thing that like we don't have the ability to do it, and that's why we really love it on Hall of Fame bets, is that you can see that batter against that bullpen, which it's great. It caps the whole game.
Yeah, and so from end to end, you've just gone through and you basically kind of checked every box that within we did this in 4 minutes to kind of go, be able to see starting pitching, bullpen, hitter, field, kind of park factors, all of that. So I just thought that was I love Polanco today. 1.5 over total bases is my play at plus 185 on FanDuel. Like I said, if you have ESPN bet and you are not severely limited, you can go get that at plus 210. But yeah, man, I just thought it was a cool way to kind of do the inverse of what you did, where we're, starting with Handigraphs going into Hall of Fame, whereas you kind of start with Hall of Fame and then go into Handigraphs.
Yep. Nope. That's awesome. We can move the screen. Yeah. That, it's just like, I just use it all the time. It's part of my whole system. And like, you guys all saw the desktop app, but you can obviously do it on, the, then you can obviously do it on your phone. Reddit Porter saying this looks a lot different than it used to be. So yeah, I don't know. Did we shave? Like what happened? So again, thank you to Hall of Fame, HOFapp.com.